I greet and welcome you all to Coach's Corner. My name is Coo Rilla. They call me Mark Cooper. We're here to make things great here, and I'm excited to have some incredible guests here on this wonderful morning. First, I want to give shout outs to our sponsor, Melting Pot, and also Cigar Militia for being our sponsors for this year. I want to thank them for all that they're doing here, and also our manager, Mr. Eric, back there. Y'all give it my boy Eric. And also my videographer, Orlando Stokes. We're doing a great thing. We're not coming here to be cool, but we're here to be groundbreaking here at the Coach's Corner. I have some extreme great guests coming here on today, and when I thought about the segment, I wanted to do some NFL guys because we are in NFL season. And so I was talking to some of my colleagues, and I told them, give me some names. And so names came up. And I'm going to tell you guys that your names always came up as like the top 5, top 6 guys in here. Although there are like maybe quite a few people in the buildings that I interviewed, but your names always came up. So I want to introduce you guys, or introduce yourself. Just tell me your name, your college, and also what pro team you played for. And we're going to take off from there. Start from here and we'll go down.
All right, I'm Willie Offord. I played at USC, University of South Carolina. And I got drafted by the Vikings in 2002, played 5 seasons for Minnesota.
Fort Williamson with the University of South Carolina. Got drafted by the Vikings and also played with Jacksonville Jaguars.
Johnathan Goodwin, went to the University of Michigan. I was drafted by the New York Jets, played 4 years there, and then went to New Orleans, the Saints for 5 years, San Francisco for 3, and then back to the Saints for 1 year.
Helms, went to the University of South Carolina. I did not get drafted. I spent way less time in the league, but Saints and Bengals for a short period of time.
I just want to go ahead and just get kicked off real quick. I know all of y'all played a great career as far as college and also the NFL. The question I had, I was thinking about this last night, is when did y'all know that you were able to play this thing for a long time? Was it a person? Was it a play? Was it a game? When did you know what? I can make it to the NFL. I can do something big. Go to South Florida.
Honestly, I think it started in high school. We had one of the best players in the country who's still playing right now, and I went against him every day. And
what's his name?
Carl Lawson. And obviously he was a higher recruit than I was, but we battled every day, and I felt like I was just as good, and a lot of times better at times. So that's kind of when I gained confidence.
Coach.
Honestly, it didn't hit for me until like my junior year of college. I think we all grew up playing sports with dreams of playing professionally. But my junior year was my first year. I kind of became a consistent starter, and the other 4 guys from that line that year that were seniors, all 4 of them ended up playing in the NFL. And a lot of people thought we were the best line in school history and things like that. So it started to kind of get me like, maybe I will have a chance to be able to do it and play at a professional level.
I know for me it was my junior year also, USC. Never dreamed to play in the NFL. It kind of just fell in my lap. I remember we playing Georgia, had a big game against Georgia on primetime TV. Then I started getting the phone calls, and it just went from there.
Yeah, I think it was the junior year for me as well. At the time, I became a consistent starter, but I had also seen guys in front of me older than I was make it to the NFL. So I realized at that moment, that it was a reality for me as well.
Coach, a quick question. From high school to college is a huge transition. And what was did you ever hit a wall when you went went straight to college? What are some areas that was the biggest transition from high school to college?
Pretty much every area. High school football is fun time. You're playing football with the guys you went to kindergarten with.
Yeah. And
then when you come to the transition into college, now it's a job. And and then now you have to be developed as a college football player on and off the field. So we got redshirt in my class, so that was a big learning curve, big time for us.
How'd you take that?
Initially, I hated it. You know what I mean? I hated it. I've always been a starter my whole life. got everything, and then now you red shirt, and now you're on the scout team.
Right.
And so you had to go through that growing pain as well. But looking back on it, was pretty much the best thing for me.
Was there anything you think you've done differently to allow you to get started?
I don't think I just wasn't ready.
Was ready? Okay.
I wasn't ready coming in as a true freshman in 1997. I wasn't ready in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? So I just wasn't ready.
I mean, for me, it would be transition. The biggest thing was not even the speed of it. It was just coming from a small school like Silver Bluff, being 800 students in the whole school, and going to have to go to a class of 300 plus kids. So it was more on the classroom side and the sports side for me. That transition of being able to adjust to that.
Right. So you had 800 kids, and now you're a big classroom.
Right. So we had kids with a school with 20 kids in the class, and then going to a classroom with 300. It's a different type of learning. So I just had to adjust to that. That was the biggest thing for me. The sports side just kind of played out for itself. Thought I was gonna get redshirt, but ended up playing. I think after my third game, lost to Georgia. Right. And Coach Holt said he was going to make some changes, and made some changes, and started my freshman year on to my junior career.
I want to talk about your schedule too, how rigorous it was balance that out. Coach, how's that training for you?
The transition for me was, in high school, most of us were the biggest, the baddest athletes,
right?
Best athletes. So, but going from high school to college. Technique-wise, I love all my high school coaches, but there were some things that I was taught and I was able to get away with because I was the big athletic kid. But so having to go in and learn the proper ways to block people. Now I got this guy just as big as me that moves just as well as me. So going in, I think the speed and learning to refine my technique was the biggest transition.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what you just said. I got thrown in the fire early. Started as a true freshman when I went to Wake, and just for instance, like the first game, we played at FCS school, and all of our juniors and seniors were talking about like the cakewalk and all that. And I got my butt whooped.
Right.
So just kind of a day in, day out of like going against grown men, especially like being closer to the ball. It's physical.
Right.
So I just every day got a little wake up call.
Okay. So y'all make the transition. Hit the wall. Some of us get red-shirted. Some of us are sitting for a while eye opening, and sometimes an angel comes, where I call a mentor, and I'm really big on that with a lot of our students I coach, and I'm real big on trying to find the right mentor for our kids. Who was that angel for you all? That kind of like he's like I think that guy helped me make that transition. What was that for you?
I went to high school, or I went to college with my best friend from high school, so we kind of helped each other out, battling through the growing pains and all that stuff. So that was probably my mentor, I guess, even though we were the same age. But he probably helped more than most.
Cool.
I would just say my whole offensive line group. Offensive line tend to be close in most situations, and when I got to Michigan, it was looked at it as a brotherhood, and guys. Maurice Williams was my roommate. He helped me take care of me. Steve Hutchinson, John Jansen. So I was fortunate enough to go into a room with a lot of understanding and guys that were willing to take me under their wing.
I mean, for me, it was my college roommates. Came in with guys, Kenny Irons, Andre Henfield, and Chris Clark. So we all decided to come to USC around the same time.
Right.
And we just, pretty much just challenge each other and help each other look after each other, and take each other home on, spring break or whatever it was that we had to take a break. So that's kind of looked after each other.
Yeah, for me, early on, this guy probably knew how much he helped me. It was Zola Davis. As a freshman, he and I locker mates 20 and 21. And then once he graduated, my roommates were Sheldon Brown, Andre Goodwin, and Shannon Watley. And so we all leaned on each other for support. Everybody was going through different things at that time, different times in our careers, and we kind of helped each other fight through.
I find that to be huge, man, as far as when you especially go to college, playing the next level, having those mentors, people around you, kind of put you through that. So that thing too. So now you're here in the NFL, and one of the things I think a lot of people want to know is what is a day in the life in the league look like, as far as from when you wake up to the end of the day? Because I know there are a lot of kids that think they look at the limelight, look at the Sunday and all that good stuff and the big games, but they don't think about the grind and the process. Tell me about a day, John, Coach Goodwin, about for you, what does it look like for you?
Well, I used to tell people all the time, it really is, it's a 9 to 5. It's a 9 to 5. Everybody see, it's games on TV now. You see games and you think, oh yeah, they go practice for 2 hours like we do with our rec team. No, you go in the morning, you may go in, treatment, lift, then you get meetings for 3 or 4 hours, and you go on the field, another 2.5 hours, and you might, even before that, you may have a walkthrough before you go on the field. So every place I went, it felt like a 9 to 5.
Wow.
I mean, it's a sport, but it's still a 9 to 5.
I truly think people see the Escalades and the Mercedes and all that stuff and think it's easy.
Right.
But the NFL, in my opinion, is pretty much the most stressful job in America until the president.
Wow. How you say that?
Because the contracts aren't guaranteed.
Gotcha.
It's a revolving door of somebody coming in every day trying to take your job.
Wow.
So you have to be very mentally tough to really survive that process as
Gotcha.
well.
Gotcha. So most of y'all, Troy, you gonna leave how long?
5 years.
Well, 5.
13.
Half.
Is there anything in the off-season that you could have done differently to make sure your career could have been longer, or you look back on?
I always say that, and one of the things with me with my career, it was the habits I built up to get into the league.
Right.
Because, I mean, even in high school, stuff comes to you. You work out when you're supposed to work out.
Right.
And I took some of them same habits to college. So in the off-season, there wasn't no extra stuff. So I can get by with just being fast or having, being more athletic than somebody, but in the pros, it's a lot different.
Right.
You have to put in that extra work. Because if not, you won't last long. It'll show on the field.
Right.
So and that's I believe that was my downfall why I wasn't able to play longer than 5 years, but not being able to put that work in the off season.
Right. Especially at your position, wide receiver.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to make sure, take care of your body. I'm looking at LeBron James 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
People are not really looking at how remarkable that is
Right.
for a basketball player, right? Taking care of your body. And so that's really key with that. All y'all have families, and I think the whole balance piece in terms of how you all manage that, I think is remarkable as well. How do y'all balance out the whole football from family and balance all that stuff out?
For me, college was more so a brotherhood. Brothers and roommates and college teammates. When you get to the NFL, it's a job, and then when practice ends or the work day is over, everyone goes home to their families. And so one thing that you have to learn at that time is, there isn't really too much time to go hang out with the boys anymore. Everybody's going to do their certain things, so that allows you the little bit of time that you had to spend with your family during the season to make those moments matter.
Right. I think that's so. Did you bring along a lot of those games?
Yeah, a few games. At the time we were young, we had young kids.
Right.
So a lot of times, you can't travel with your kids. But sometimes you take a significant other on road trips once or twice, but not a lot because we were all young at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, at 24, 25 years old. So it became a challenge at the time, but you had to make sure that you did what you needed to take care of home too.
When was that moment, don't talk to Troy, when you knew like this was going to be like, I'm on my way out to exit? Like this could be my last year, my last game, and how did you take that in? And but the second part of that question is, did you plan for after football?
See, the first part of it, for me, I knew I was on my way out because things weren't kind of like, well, I wasn't playing the way I wanted to play. Barring injuries, my whole mental game was just off. So I remember my last preseason game I played in Atlanta, and the game was over with. I called my wife. I was like, you know what? I think I'm through. And so what made it easy for me to leave it? She was just saying, well, if you're through, you're through. So just come home, get on this flight, and make do whatever we've done. And to say that I planned not to do anything after football.
Okay.
So in my plan, I didn't plan to get a 9 to 5 or be a coach. My plan was to be a dad,
Wow.
make sure I did what I'm supposed to do is to be able to stay home with my kids and raise them and be able to make every game.
Wow.
Only thing that stopped me from making a game is if both of them have a game on at the same time, and I have to decide on which one to go to.
Wow.
So that was my plan.
Wow.
Which it worked out, and with me being a high draft pick and getting paid pretty good money, and I always say you take care of what you're blessed with, it'll take care of you in the future. So that's why I'm able to do that.
Wow, that's good stuff. That's remarkable, man. I mean, a lot of people want to do this job, but to say you want to be a father, man, big shout out to that. Go to.
Yeah, for me, you know, I got hurt, you know, so my career ended abruptly. But when it ended, I knew that I was going to stay involved in the game in some way, shape, or form, whether it's scouting or coaching. I just didn't know exactly what route I was going to take at the moment. And so when I was released, I kind of waited around like a lot of guys do training and see if you can get picked up by another team, and that didn't happen. So I knew at that moment, once that moment happened, I didn't get picked up the following free agency cycle. I was going to transition to something else. And then, so I made the move and I got in the coaching.
Generally, you were okay.
Yeah.
He was fine.
Yeah. It's the business side of it.
Right.
You have to understand the business side of it. We're sitting here right now, just like the locker room. I'm here today with Troy right now. He could be gone tomorrow and I never see him again. Right. You know, I mean, I've had locker mates I've been spent 2 years with. They get cut before they get on the plane and you never see them. You know what I mean? So that's just the reality of how it is. Right. So I was ready to transition to another phase, but I knew it was going to still be around football.
Coach, you went to several teams. Now, what was your emotions like when you jumped from one team to another? Were you just doing business like Coach O said, or you just kind of moved on from it?
Yeah, I learned early on it was business, and you know, I always told myself, you know, we know when you're fortunate enough to play a sport for a living that there's only a certain amount of time you can do it.
Right.
So any you know guys I was close with in New York, but I was always taking the money. That was my mindset. Right. You know, I've been in situations where I had to learn new people, adjust, and this and that. So, you know, at times, you know, when I left New Orleans to go to San Francisco, it was tough. That was really tough because I was real close with my line mates in New Orleans. But, you know, it was just a situation where I felt like I always had to put my family first, and I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this. You know, I graduated from college, but I don't know what's next. So I always had the mindset I was going to take the money and go from there.
Right. Coach.
Well, I knew pretty much from the first day that it could be the last time. Being an undrafted guy, you're you are on the bottom, so you're fighting for every rep and everything like that. And the first weekend we had rookie minicamp, and then they actually, New Orleans ended up cutting a draft pick at my position after rookie minicamp. So I was like, well, shoot, they picked him up before me. I could be any day. So anytime I'd see somebody with a suit and tie come in the locker room, I was just ready.
Wow.
But I was planning, not in a bad way that I was expecting to get cut, but like when I did get cut from New Orleans, I went and started GAing just in case. Like I had no idea. I waited a couple weeks. Right. Nobody called, so I was kind of like he was saying. I just didn't think anybody would, so I started GAing. And then 2 weeks after I started GAing, I got another call. But you know, I went into the second opportunity just knowing, like, I was just grateful for the opportunity, and I kind of took the stress out because I was cool with it. Like I was good with getting into coaching, and it actually helped me play better. I thought I was actually finally playing decent, and then I got hurt, but I was good with it.
So you always knew you wanted to coach after football?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was going to be high school or college, but definitely knew coaching.
Right. Now, there's a conversation with some people, just because you played the game, can you coach the game? Is that always true?
In my opinion, that is not always true.
Okay.
And one thing I always think about when it comes to that aspect of it is, you know, even though you play the game at a high level, you have to take that same energy that you prepared as a player into coaching.
Wow.
And a lot of guys miss that step. I think they don't prepare as a coach, prepare themselves to be a coach as they did, you know, as a player.
And I think that's huge, because that's a whole nother, coaching is a whole nother realm. And to say that you play and you have the experiences, I think that people will respect you because of that. but you also gotta be able to relate to those kids.
Right. Coaching is teaching.
Yeah, so you gotta relate to those kids. So that was just key.
Need a lot of patience.
A lot of patience. How y'all been doing with that?
For me, it took a few years, at least about my third year in coaching, to really settle down and understand that these kids can't do what I did as a player. And I had to educate myself so I can help coach these kids. And so that's kind of what did it for me. Just take a step back and these guys understand what curl and flat means.
Right.
Right. So you got to get out there and be able to teach it to them.
Wow. Coach, how's it been for you?
Especially
Especially your position, what was the position you played? Are you hard on those guys?
No, I feel like I'm a patient person, but it's just like he just said. Like I make comments all the time where where I could see the kids kind of looking at me like, what does that mean? So I had to adjust to that a lot. The things that are common knowledge for me, I had to realize that it's not for them. They're 14 to 17-year-old kids,
right?
So they don't know what we know. So it's about having patience and being able, to be able to describe and teach them the right ways to do things. But it's been a great thing for me. I had the opportunity to jump in coaching when I first retired, and I waited. Like Troy said, I wanted to be a father, and because I felt like I was always too tired when I came home, and do too much interacting, and so when I retired, I wanted to be with my kids, and but now I'm coaching at school my kids play it, so it's worked out, and it's been a blessing for me.
Good, it's good stuff. Coach, you enjoying it?
Yeah.
I'm watching you, man.
Yeah. I have fun with it.
Yeah. So how's it been the transition for you coaching? I know you coached at Gray, and then you transitioned to head coach at Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's same thing. First couple of years was tough in the sense of I jumped straight into it, so I was learning how to coach too. There was some times where I couldn't explain what I was talking about, so I would just put my hand in the ground and do it. And then just keep developing and learning how to coach was the biggest thing for the first couple of years. And I thought the biggest thing that helped me was just relating to the kids, and the kids saw the passion, and they would do whatever you asked them to do. The biggest learning curve was teaching them, but I had a lot of really good coaches that helped me along the way too. So
gotcha. That's good stuff. This segment right here, I'm calling this the advice corner, because I always like to give feedback to parents and also players, like tips that they can take with them from professionals that they can take with them for a long time. Because I know we see things from players and parents, like if they get this information, they may be okay. If they get this little tidbit, it might make them a better parent, or it might make them a better player. What do you have for our players? What a freshman coming in wants to play football? What one advice would you give that player as a coach right now? Coach,
right now, if football is what you want to do, you have to invest in your craft. We always say all the time, you want to invest to win. You have to invest in football. If you're going to be a football player, be a football player. You can't be on the fence. You can't be on the fence with the boys or be on the fence trying to run around behind the girls. If football is what you want to do, you have to invest in football. Invest your time wisely in football. So always giving football your time.
Gotcha.
I know for me, it was always being able to commit to something I wanted. So when I wanted something, like even when I found out I can go to college to play football, I made a commitment. I dropped friends. I wasn't running behind no girl because that's what I wanted. Same thing when I was deciding no, I can go pro. I made a commitment. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna work. It's a certain goal that I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm gonna put the work and time in it and commit to that. So just be committed to it. And like O said, if you want it, you have to put that time in and adjust to that.
And Coach Joe, do you know when a kid's committed out, when they got one foot in, one foot out?
Yeah, I can tell from a high school standpoint, from a high school coach standpoint, I can tell when a kid is committed to the sport. It's by who he associates with during the school day. All right, so if you're at lunch and you're hanging with the guys that aren't doing anything, all right, you're not committed to the sport. But if you're hanging with your brothers at the table full of football players, then I know that you're always in that circle.
Wow. What advice would you give, Coach?
I mean, it's gonna sound the same, but it's just how true it is.
Right.
Commitment, investing. I mean, this game is tough. It's tough. It's
Right.
tough. And you like I said, you can't be 1 foot in, you can't be 1 foot out. And in our time, I don't ever remember it being this many trainers, this many pro athletes.
Right.
These kids have that opportunity. We didn't have those opportunities.
Wow.
So, and everybody across the country is doing it. So you have to invest. Everybody's path is different.
Right.
Don't get on social media seeing what this kid got, this kid got. Everybody's story and path is different. So lock in, commit, and
Can I piggyback off that?
Yes, sir.
So even with the social media thing, I talk to my kids all the time about, for me, like you can see a player that's great. Like you go on social media, you find any player you want to find, and how good they are, they accolades, but you don't know what they're going through to make them put up those stats.
Right.
And I know for me, like I always say, I got out the mud, so I came from nothing. My kids would never have to do that, because of the situation that I was put in and blessed with. So they have to find something that another want to that's just drive them, because it will never be struggle, it will never be poverty, it won't be that. So they have to find something else for them to be able to make that commitment to football, my daughter with volleyball, whatever it may be.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Coach.
Can literally echo everything they said. I think the only thing I would add to it is I see a lot of kids that put a ton of stress on themselves too. The only thing I would add to that is obviously you got to be committed and invested, and you got to separate from the BS. But they got to have some fun with it too. It's tough. So if you don't find a way to have some fun with it, then you're going to be miserable. I've seen a lot of guys that I played with, and I've seen some guys that I've coached the last couple of years that just get miserable with it, whether it's their parents making it on them or them on themselves. It is brutal. It is a brutal business and brutal game. So if you don't have fun with it, then you're going to be.
That's true. That's good.
I think the recruiting part of it has really heightened everyone's stress level.
Yeah.
Because the kids can get on social media and see, he's got 12 offers.
Right.
Where's mine?
Or he's got 20 catches.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what about me?
Right.
How many? I don't have that many followers as he has.
Right.
Yeah. We say it all the time. Everyone has their own process.
Right.
Just run your course and trust your process.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can press send on social media, and that's not the reality of what the situation is.
Right. Yeah. That's good.
That's for parents as well. They say, wow, he signed and he got offers where my son offers. You know what I mean?
I have that going in my position group right now. I have 2 tackles. They can walk in any room in the country right now, especially my left tackle, and every college coach will offer. I have another kid that's a little bit shorter and this and that, great football player, where he's going to have to get it off his tape. So everybody is different for everybody.
Gotcha.
It really is, and I think what Coach said is very true. Like everybody sees other people's story, and the recruiting has made it a whole other stress level for these kids.
And social media has, of course, had a huge part of that. I know we all come up, social media wasn't as big. I mean, imagine that with you guys.
Right.
You didn't know where your career would have been. So, as far as with the parent piece, what advice would you give a parent that's walking through their child being a football player?
I would say you can't live your dreams, through your kids.
Wow.
I think that's the biggest. And then for me, what I push my kids, but I don't push them to the point to where, if I don't do this right, daddy gonna be upset. No, I mean, you go out there, you enjoy the sport, play football, and then enjoy it. And I see parents all the time, moving kids from school to school, and all this different stuff about, and it makes it tough on the kid, because I look at them, now you go to college, you can play half a year and be like, I'm ready to go somewhere because stuff don't work out the way you want to work.
Right.
My question is, where the competition coming at?
Right.
You come to the school, you committed to a school.
Right.
So let's commit to it. Let's compete. You might not play your first, you might get red shirt, but let's put in the work.
Right.
And I think the parents, going back to the parents, I think they put that in their kids,
Gotcha.
saying that it's a better situation somewhere else.
Right.
So you can't live.
Buck don't stop. So
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Coach gave me tips for parents.
Just obviously you need to be supportive, but kids are getting a lot of stress from other avenues, so they don't need it from a parent. They don't need it from a parent, And I'm currently, the past year or so, I got to be a coach, and I also had a kid that's going through the recruiting process, and I've seen the stress it's on him, and at times here he is, people want him, but he's stressing when it's truly a blessing. So, you gotta, as a parent, you gotta find that balance of where your child knows they can come to you, and they're not getting added stress. And, everybody's path is different. You don't, like I said, everybody doesn't have to be a successful. You don't have to go to college for football. There's other ways to turn out and do great things in this world.
I just think a lot of times parents forget that their kids have to learn through facing adversity. When the path, if you commit to a school, you go somewhere and it gets difficult, you can't pick up and take flight and run from it. You got to teach them to fight through adversity, because that's the biggest life lesson that you can teach them. Because life is tough.
It is. And when you have, like I've always coached my son, like if you have an issue with your coach, I'm not going to have no conversation with the coach. The coach is taking his time out to spend time with you, he's investing in you. And so you need to find the words and the guts to be able to have that conversation with that coach. Because in the real world, it is what it is. You're going to have to stand up at some point. And so I think that's huge, to be able to coach our kids to be adults. And you can do that through conversation and converse. And so, coach.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm echoing them, but support your kid. I mean, I've seen several times this year guys smiling after a big win and happy, and then they go home, and then all of a sudden their parents get in their ear about whether it be playing time or touches or not playing well or what, and then throughout the weekend now they're all upset. They just left all happy. Support the kid, and just teach them to, like, everything that they get, they got to earn. A lot of people are just searching for handouts. And, you got to earn everything, especially when you're on a good team. Like, you have to earn everything. But I think some parents just need to grasp that.
I guess there are a lot of parents understand that you're the liaison advocate for these coaches. I'm speaking on your behalf. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're performing, that's who you are. I'm not gonna lie to a coach. I'm not gonna ruin my relationship and say that you're better than what you are. So that's it. We're gonna go take a little pause break for a second. We're back live here in Coach's Corner. But we're not here to be cool, but we're here to be around. Now I want to have a little discussion a little bit about the life after football. And I know most of y'all have been retired for a while. You look back on things and how things going for you and what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing first, and how it's like after football reflecting. Coach up.
Right now, I'm the head football coach at Bengal High School in Sumter. This is my first season there. I got the job in June. I have 15 years of coaching experience. I've been to various places, coaching really good teams, coaching state runner-up teams, coaching bad teams. I'm very well diverse in terms of where I've been as a high school football coach.
For me, I'm a head coach at the Williamson household. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I'm pretty much, for me, and my wife is a full-time student, so I raise my kids. So anything from getting to school, waking them up in the morning, taking them to and from practice. So we got 10th grader, sophomore, freshman, 7th grader, and a 4th grader. Football, volleyball, track. So we run it.
Gotcha.
And so believe me, I enjoy it.
That looks like it, man.
I enjoy
That's
it.
good stuff, man.
I'm pretty much coaching the offensive line at Providence Day in Charlotte, and me and my wife own the salon suites. The idea was presented to me, and then we decided we wanted to do it. My wife took it and ran, so I could go do some maintenance stuff over there, but it's been good to us. But I got to give her all the credit for it.
That's good stuff, man. Good. Coach.
I'm the head coach at Cardinal Newman. This is my 6th season coaching. One as a GA in college, and then the last 5 in high school.
Outstanding. Now, being done with football, the question I want to ask you all is, I know that, was there any mental health stuff that you have to deal with that transition in terms terms of being stressed out, what you want to do, what direction you want to go in terms of after that's going coach?
I won't say after, but it's a lot of mental stuff that goes on during playing.
Gotcha.
And that comes with pressure and not performing. And always, like I tell, like I run my own podcast also, and I talk to some other athletes in the area. And I tell them, like, you have your expectations for yourself, but then you have people who have expectations for you. And I think that's what put a lot of stress on me. And really, like I always say, the NFL really jacked me up after the fact. You know, after I finished playing, still dealing with issues today. So my stress wasn't to try to find what I was going to do after football. My stress was trying to figure out how I'm going to stay sane. And, you know, and it's real. Like, a lot of guys come out of the NFL worse than what they went in. That's physical, that's mentally. And I was one of the ones that came out mentally worse than when I went in.
You know, I teach a course at USC, Roman, and we talk about coping skills. And because I think dealing with young students, dealing with mental health, you have to find things. What do you do when you're stressed out?
Oh,
Something that's tangible.
yeah.
Not like go to Dubai for a month. Something that you can do currently at your desk. Something that you can do that's going to get you back to your full self.
Yeah.
Did you find and identify what that is for you?
Oh, it's me spending time with my kids and my family. That's my coping.
Gotcha.
That's why I think I enjoy it. It takes my mind off a lot of stuff, and my family is my reason for actually just want to keep going. So
That's awesome.
I think that's my coping mechanism.
And once you identify it, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know, to some of y'all's coaching, it's different for everybody.
Yeah, I think as NFL players, see, we are protected by that shield, the NFL logo, that shield.
Wow.
So for however many years, you are protected. So you're at a facility, like 9 to 5. All right, you're in the locker room with your teammates and brothers all day. You eat 3 to 4 great meals a day. All right, you always sought after for your autograph, and everybody puts you on the pedestal because you're protected behind that shield. Wow. Once that shield is taken away from you, you're not protected by it anymore. Now you got to cope with the real world.
Gotcha.
And I think a lot of guys struggle to make that transition and deal with like regular people, you know, because we're all athletes, we're all in the building together, we're all, you know, set up on this high pedestal, and you know, so socially.
Does the NFL have anything in place that helps with that?
I'd say they do. I think that the Players Association does a great job of trying to warn us before it actually happens.
Right.
But until you go through it and have to face it on your own, that's when
Right, different.
you flip or you flop.
Right.
So,
Right. What about you?
I mean, I think what Troy said is great. The stress playing, you know, for me, you know, was probably more than afterwards because, you know, I was a guy, you know, I didn't want to let the team down, you know, and then this is how I'm providing for my family. You know, I used to go into games, you know, in New Orleans thinking I wasn't going to be the one to get Drew Brees hurt. That was my motivation.
Wow.
But, you know, my last year playing during the middle of the season, I remember that this one particular time we were playing the Ravens on Monday night, and I looked at the clock, and all I could think was, man, I wish this clock would run out. Normally I had done that in games before, but it was games like we're up a ton of points, and you just want the game to be over. And this game was a close game, so I knew right then and there I wanted to be done. And fortunately, you know, I was blessed enough to play long enough to get it out my system. Since I've been done with it, I've been fine.
Wow. No regrets.
Yeah. The last couple of years of playing were probably the main stress years for me. You know, there were some times where it was miserable. There were some times where it was great, but it was super stressful. I think that has kind of helped me deal with the stress now. There's probably just as much stress, if not more, outside of playing, but that helped me deal with it a lot. You know, obviously, like I have a super supportive wife and really good friends and stuff that help a lot, but I think that kind of prepared me to deal with some of the stress and drama and all that came with post-career.
I'm glad you guys are alive and well and doing well before. Because I've heard a lot of stories about guys that transition, and it saddens me at times. But I'm glad you guys have good supportive systems around you all to help you through this next journey. You all seem to be doing very well, which is incredible. Now, do y'all still watch football?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who your team, man? Corey.
Well, so I grew up a Saints fan, and then they cut me. So
Okay.
I guess the Bengals pay me the most money, so I watch them the most. I watch college football though. I'm a big. I grew up an SEC guy, and I mean it's been since I was born college football. So I'm big in college football.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Gamecocks.
Coach Goodwin, you watch it?
Oh yeah, I'm faithfully, but I would say my favorite team is probably my fantasy teams. And then pick. But my brother is in Tampa, so I pull for them. Even though
your brother's name is
Harold Goodwin, he's assistant coach in Tampa.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
So I pull for them a little bit, even though being a former Saint, that probably a lot of Saints fans that don't want to hear that, especially this week.
I love New Orleans, man. I've been there a couple times. Basketball team, it's a vibe out there, man. Good food, good energy. Trying to get my players not to eat Bojangles, try to get something else, get some real New Orleans food.
Right.
Was always a struggle. Right. But a lot of New Orleans.
I don't have an NFL team. I'm a Gamecock, so I watch NFL Red Zone and just go from team to team. But we play, so I don't have a certain team.
Okay, George, you want to give a shout out about your tailgating?
Listen,
go ahead, this is your time. You got 30 seconds, man.
We got a homecoming on October 14th for University of South Carolina versus Florida, and we do a big tailgate every year. We have DJ food, alcohol, games. It's gonna be a blast.
Good job. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a time. I gotta get to one of those things, but I know you heard about it. Coach.
Yeah, for me, just coaching wise, I don't get a chance to watch a whole lot of football over the weekends. Of course, Sunday I root for the Vikings if they're playing. Other than that, just the Gamecocks. But I don't spend a whole lot of time watching just because I'll be sitting there trying to coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the game not as a fan, but from a schematic standpoint.
What's your thoughts on how football has changed over the years, and as far as contact?
Yeah, for me as a player, I don't think I've been able to play this time.
Really?
Because of the physicality. All the rules that have happened, they put in place. Defenseless players and stuff and all that. That was cool when I played. You come across the river, you're gonna get it. So now, I think the rules are good, but I'm not, super excited about it.
Right. I understand why the rules are in place, but it's definitely hard to watch and so forth. So right now we have a little change in culture with college right now. We have Deion Sanders is coaching and brought a whole different energy and vibe to Colorado. I don't think I ever watched a Colorado game until this year. Never. I promise you, until Deion Sanders got there. How do you think he's going to do? What do y'all think about this whole change with Deion Sanders and so forth?
I think he can win one more game and still be fine.
Right.
I mean, because he already accomplished more than what people thought he was going to come in and do. But I just think they give him some time. He's going to change that program. This is the type of person he is, and makes you guys just come and right. So it is what it is. I think he'll do great though.
Yeah.
I'll always be supporting him as long as he's not playing Michigan. But I mean, I love it. We talked about this earlier. Every former player can't coach, but it's assumed by a lot of people that no former players can coach. So I'm definitely glad to see him have success, because there's a lot of situations where former players don't get the opportunities just because people think that.
Yeah, got a question for you, Coach, on that. It's like with head coaching, they manage the program and they have their assistants really doing the grind work. You find that true even with Deion? He's more like the culture and presenting. You got other guys really doing the detail stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a big part of the culture. How much he's involved on the X's and O's.
Right.
I'm not sure,
Right.
But I think his personality and the things he's instilled out there, like I think Colorado will be successful for a long time, and eventually, they need to go ahead and lock him up, because I think other schools are going to try to come pull him away.
Gotcha. Your thoughts, Coach?
Well, I think, like you said, about the former players coaching, but if you have a former player, especially with his pedigree, and he can coach, that's a huge benefit. I mean, just even at our level, like if you got a former player that knows football and has been there, done that, and the kids can relate to that, that's a leg up on, a coach that hasn't. And coaches that haven't are afraid of that, and that's why they are not super thrilled with what's going on. So I'm pulling for them from the former player to coach standpoint.
Gotcha.
And I think it's going to cause a little bit of change in the coaching industry.
Right. I agree. You think he'll be here for the next couple of years? You think the NFL is going to snap?
I think he does for college.
I do too. I definitely think he's better.
I've heard him say he don't want to be other than the NFL because it's hard to reach a young man who makes a lot of money here. You know what I mean? That's true.
I think he's going to be right there with the Florida Gators.
All right. I want to open the segment up to any of our guests that's watching here live. I like to bless our guests. Any questions you want to ask anyone in the podcast? Maybe a quick question you want to ask? Thoughts?
I would say, I think Corey just touched on it, man, but I love to see that you guys are in coaching as former players because often we get overlooked. And it's pretty hard to get a new gig or a decent job. Now they want to talk about your experience. They don't want to give you credit for the experience that all you guys have played at an elite level. And I'm glad to see it, man. I hope that at your stops that you continue to pull along other former players that may have lost their way or need something to do with something to live the experience. I think helping kids is a gift.
Yeah.
It's not like something that can be taught. And I think that people that want to work with kids such as yourselves, it's awesome. So I just wanted to salute something.
I definitely echo those regards to ask you to have a former NFL player be at Lakewood, monumental, especially all three guys. I know Troy is doing the Hall of Fame dad thing right now.
I'm in there winning.
And then winning thing, but it's huge, man. So definitely kudos to you all and all that you all are doing, man. Thank y'all so much, man, for coming and wanting to. When I thought about I wanted to do a group of NFL guys, your names came up, and I had known some of you all closer than others, but I know of you, and pray that you guys do well in your next endeavors. And I also want to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to your school or any players that you may want, upcoming players we may have, or businesses, or podcasts that y'all want to give a shout out. Let's start with Coach O.
I just want to say keep guys on Lakewood High School for the future. We're rebuilding right now. I'm excited about what we're doing in the direction that we're going. And in the next few years, we make some noise.
You check out my podcast, which is Listen and Shut Up.
Yep.
We've been interviewing local talent, from coaches to former players. We got some of the top players in the state that we've interviewed, just talking about what's their next step after high school. We got some former, actually Brandon's wife, Shonda, who volleyball coach, who played at All-American at USC.
Shouts out to Shonda.
So we got some good stuff that we're doing with the youth in the area. So
check out the Twitter podcast, man. Let's go, man.
Just if you're in the Charlotte area, check out Image Studio Charlotte. Like I said, my wife, she's killing it. As far as football wise, Providence Day Chargers in Charlotte. We're trying to get a three-peat, so hopefully we can get that accomplished. And, we got some tough games coming up.
You have any prominent players over there doing really well?
Yeah. So I guess.
He'll give an excuse shortness.
So I guess I got to start with my son, Channing Goodwin, headed to Michigan. Jordan Shipp headed to North Carolina. Jaden Davis headed to Michigan. Brody Barnhart headed to North Carolina State. And my left tackle, David Sanders, is like the #1 junior in the nation. So
wow.
Yeah. So I could literally.
We
loaded. So we don't have a lot of bodies, but we got a lot of talent.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, Coach.
Check Cardinal Newman. We are 6-0 right now, which is the first time being 6-0 since 1990.
Wow.
Before we got there, we were 1-19, and we got a good group of coaches and good group of players. So I'm excited about what's going on over there.
Coach, your energy is contagious, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Appreciate it. Support you.
I got sleeves on today, though.
All right, we got a good friend of mine here, one of the dopest speakers in the Midlands right here. My boy Terrence, man. Y'all go boy Terrence, shout out, man. What's up?
Hey, Coach. First of all, thank you guys for being here today. My question is more of a two-fold question. And I guess when you go into the home or when you're dealing with these 16, 17-year-olds, and you're actually looking at yourself sometimes, right? So my first question is, if you could do it all over again when you're 16, 17 years old, when you're being recruited, would you take the same route you took? Then following that, what would you tell a 16, 17-year-old, who are you? What would you tell that young man, going forward? Like, who you are right now, what advice would you give yourself when you're 16, 17 years old?
Me personally, I would take the same route. Coming to the University of South Carolina was the best thing for me to get away from, my hometown. And then just looking back, I would tell my 16-year-old self just to relax, grind, man. Just relax and grind. Don't stress yourself out too much about being perfect or trying to make it to the league. There's other things that you can do besides play professional football to be successful. And I put a lot, growing up, I put a lot of stress and pressure on myself to hey, once I said I'm gonna make it to the league, I'm gonna make it to college, like really focus on making it. And I think I stress myself out a lot. Just relax a little bit more, work on myself.
I know, for me, I don't know we want to cut TV down first. But for me, I would most definitely take the same path. I think I made the right decision. I enjoyed it. But that's what I would tell my younger self also, to make sure they enjoy every moment, like every up and down, learn from it and just take it all in.
I would definitely take the same path also. At times I didn't think I enjoyed it like I should have, adding that stress. I had an older brother. My older brother went to Michigan too, so I think I always felt the pressure of doing just as good as he did. When really, no matter where I went, to go to college and play football for free was a success story.
That's good you had an older brother too. Oh, your older brother?
No.
Yeah.
Did they help you?
I mean, mine was totally different. They was military, so
Okay.
I kind of strayed off and did the college route.
Gotcha.
My younger brother played in the league too.
Answer Terrence's question.
Yeah, I mean, I would have taken the same route. I wish I would have had some of the knowledge I know now back then, and I think that would have helped me. But I think that's part of why we probably all got into high school coaching, because we can impact those kids with what we know now. Sometimes it's what we would have done differently, not on like a drastic scale, but we can impact it a little bit.
So I know that, we didn't grow up in the whole social media, on that time. How do you guys handle your kids' social media behavior?
Well, we're not going to be a copycat family. We're not going to be, post up to showcase yourself. We'll do that. But we're not going to follow any trend or fad that's going on social media because we don't know who's watching. Right. People look at the first thing you hear your name is they go up your social media. You know what I mean? So you want to always make sure you put something out there that's positive. Right? I'm hands-on with that. I'm not running my kids' Twitter account, but I make sure, make sure what you posting is good content.
Wow. Yeah, my wife is big on copycat stuff because kids they get on there, all these TikTok dances throwing up these things they don't understand. So my wife my kids will be in school and she sees something on TikTok they don't supposed to. Oh, she texting the phone like, we're not gonna do this. So, but I believe you also can use it for to win some coaches over. Because I know they want every kid now to have a Twitter account, right, so they can go in and figure out who you are, who you associate with, and it's just that easy to be like, well, we're not gonna recruit this kid because he's not the type of person that we want on our campus. Or it's easy to. I mean, I'm guaranteed John's doing the same thing. So I mean, it's just an interview that every day you put something out there, they can go and check it out. So we keep my wife really does keep a tight knit on it.
I can't claim to have been too hands-on with my kids' social media accounts, but luckily my oldest, he's pretty level-headed, he's pretty laid back, so we haven't had any issues or anything. And you know, my 10th grader is a little more rougher around the edges, but he looks up to Big Brother. You know, he wouldn't admit it for the longest, but now you can start to see it. So I think the precedent he set has gotten my 10th grader to mimic him. So it hadn't been an issue for us so far.
We did a presentation on social media before the season, and I think we'll probably end up doing it every year just to educate them. They all have it. They all have Instagram and Twitter, but you can use it for good. But there's a lot of bad. Like, just being honest, I follow them. Like, I track them, and they know that, so I think they're a little scared to do something stupid. But I think the biggest thing is just educating them on it. You have to use it for positivity.
I think kids typically will follow what's been modeled.
Yeah.
Big shout out to our head coach, Coach Dion. I think he doesn't get enough credit when he does on social media. Everything he puts up is going to be something that's going to involve a capture, a game, a tournament, an experience, a quote. And once you begin to do that as a coach, the kids will then follow what you're doing because they're modeling you only anyway. So I think if coaches and the leadership team are doing that, I think that can really help out model what's supposed to be done there, which is huge in social media. So I think anything else back there?
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So for the coaches, dealing with the transfers from coming from college and you trying to get your kids to college, there's less scholarships out there. How do you navigate that and not get them discouraged?
For me, I try to educate kids in terms of their abilities for one.
Yeah.
What level you should project out to be. And I always tell them that if you're a guy who's getting Power 5 offers, you're getting a lot of offers, you better find a school that you love and a school that loves you, and you better go ahead and commit, because the transfer portal is killing high school recruiting. You know what I mean? When you got the kids who would come out FCS or Power 5, now they're going to Division 2. You know what I mean? Because the transfer portal, coaches are not actively recruiting high school athletes as much as they used to in years past. So figure out what level your athlete is, push it toward those schools. Be real with those families as well, the parents as well. Like, hey, this is the level your kid is. He's not 6'4", he's 6'1". He's a great football player. There is money at this Division 2. Right. You can be able to open them to take that opportunity.
Yeah. I think about the Power 5 thing too. I think a lot of times you're seeing like the FCS mid-major kid who's got good offers and they're full rides, and you know, sometimes it's somebody at home, sometimes it's their ego, whatever it is, but they're chasing that Power 5 and they keep chasing it, and you know, it comes signing day, now you got nowhere to go. I've seen it twice now in the last 2 years. And it's just like you said, to find a spot and commit to it. Sometimes you got to play the business too. And like, if you got a full ride on the table and you're comfortable with it, like, sounds bad, but you might need to pull the trigger. And if Alabama wants you, they're not going to care that you're committed to whoever. So
you can check the temperature in the room with the school good recruit.
Yeah.
They ain't call you in 2 months. All they offer you, the temperature's probably real low.
Yes.
But if they calling you every day, asking about your mom, your dad, you know what's going on. I ask our kids, I was like, who contacted you? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's the hot right there. But they haven't contacted you. Good. Go where you want to go, where you need.
I think sometimes these kids get deceived when coaches slide their DM. Say, hey, how you doing? We want you to come up to a game. Come watch us play. We want you to come to a camp. Now the kid is excited because Wake Forest is hitting me up on the DM. Say they want me to come. Like,
And it's really an intern.
Right.
you got who?
You know what people don't realize? The coaches they try to get as many kids at college camps because they keep that money. The coaches keep that money, so like the kids don't realize. Like, I got invited to the camp, so
Camps, that's all money.
yeah.
Oh, you
like so.
You pay GAs, all that.
Exactly. Those bonuses right there.
Right. Any other questions? Good? Okay. Okay, good. Again, thank y'all, man, so much, man. Appreciate y'all. Salute to all your endeavors moving forward. Please support Coach's Corner. We got some great things coming up. And I definitely support watching you all program and what you got going on. So I'm excited, definitely praying for you and your families. We have a newborn coming up. Coach Helms, we got a newborn baby coming up. So praying for you, man. Pictures will be on social media. Check it out. And as we move forward, the fatherhood is outstanding. Man. So I've been a father for 19 years. My son, Coastal Carolina. So watching him grow as a baby is like remarkable. So like, what's the same little boy I used to? So nothing like fatherhood, man. So much love to y'all, and definitely be praying for you guys, and we'll be back live here in Coach's Corner. We out.